So thanks for coming on. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So I guess the first question is, how's ISO life going?
I mean, for me, like I'm kind of a loner in itself, so it hasn't been too bad in a way. Obviously, the only downfall is just like the gym not being open, and I do have a few close friends I like to be in contact with. So kind of sucky, and like actually seeing people outside a bit more, it's like confronting because I normally go for my runs and things, and then you see like a lot more people now outside. It's like, oh, like where did you guys come from? You know,
The rest of Australia is starting to be fitness fanatics because we can't go out of the house.
Yeah, jumping on the bandwagon. I'm like, nah, it's actually a good thing for them too. But I'm just like, they'll drop off slowly. Like they'll all turn into fat cunts at the end of it. So we'll see what happens.
100%. And is there things you've moved into since you've been in ISO, like jumped into any podcasts, not Netflix stuff? Are you a gamer at all? Things like that?
I'm not really. Like I've been a bit of a weirdo. Like I literally went to all these, I bought like a coloring book and coloring pencils. Like
Nice.
I'm not even a creative person.
Yep.
So that was like a pretty big step for me. But I do like to read and stuff like that. So I've been like really into reading and like ordering books online and stuff like that. So that's really what I've been doing that's different, like opposed to what I would normally do. But yeah, I'm just like getting in touch with different sides of things too. So it's
Any
okay.
good books at the moment?
I mean, nothing really. Like I had a few recommendations that I put up on my Instagram. So I've screenshot like so many recommendations. I have to just like go and buy them. But I just finished the duo that Mark Manson published, the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and then the other one about hope. So I just finished them too. They're really interesting. Like they have an insight on more like the perspective of the way people think, and that like it really does change a lot for you, like the way you see your day-to-day life, you know. And I'm really deep like that. Like I'm not a shallow person when it comes to just talking like to people in general. Like I like to have a proper convo. Like the hi bye, how are you shit like doesn't fly by me, you know, like it's so basic. Yeah. So I love it.
Just surface stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, like anyone can say it. You walk past a stranger, hey mate, how are you? Like it's the same thing. You want to like actually be in depth in a conversation. Like it's worth so much more.
Mark's been really good at communicating stuff on helping people through the coronavirus too, which has been good read. He's been posting a lot of blogs about that, which has been really good.
It's pretty cool. I just started following him recently too, so I'm just being like, I'm like, oh, like where's this guy like his ideology like come from, you know? Like, but he's pretty educated and he's got a lot of knowledge to share, so why not?
Absolutely.
I have to put it on my list. I'm reading Atomic Habits at the moment, Dale.
Oh, someone actually told me to read that and I'm going to order it.
It's a dope book, yeah. It's real weird once you start reading it and you start to realize that like basically everything in your life is a habit that you've created from since you were born, even like turning a light on for a certain reason.
That would kill me.
It'd be good for like anyone, but you know, if you're into training and stuff like that as well, it's cool to see the kind of habits you got and what you form up to like upcoming fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I got habits from A to Z, like not just from training. So if I read that, I would be like OCD with stuff far out.
You'd be very aware of why you do things if you read that book. So
yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, no, great, thanks. Noted. I'll definitely buy on that one.
Mate, we'll get into this story. The really cool thing we like to do on this podcast is give you a chance to really talk to the viewers or our listeners at home to let them know who Nadia is and where the passion came from to step into a cage. So
where do we start?
It's hard. But mate, the floor is yours. Where's the story start for you? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up, if people are familiar with Sydney, Wentworthville, which is basically next to Parramatta. I was born there and I was basically there till I was 18. So I finished high school, moved to Fairfield, and now I reside towards Cecil Hills. But basically growing up in western suburbs, like it's not like ghetto style, but I lived in housing commission. So, you know, it's not the most well-off people. And with that comes trouble. And, you know, like you can't help it though, like they're people you're surrounded with. So at the end of the day, like it's normal to you, you know, coming home when the lights are going off, seeing needles on the floor, having people shoeless, like everything's, you know, a bit dodgy and stuff like that. But it's so normal. And then like when you see it and you start moving to nicer areas and meeting people on a different platform, like it's really confronting, you know. But obviously I've grown past that. but I'm really blessed, and I feel like privileged that I actually got to go through that, because you appreciate things so much more. So yeah, that's definitely my hood, Wenty, I call it.
I think I played against Wenty in footy when I was younger. Got absolutely punished.
Oh, really? When you Magpies. Love it. It's so good. I never played footy.
You didn't?
No, like I never played it like outside of school. Inside of school, yeah, but I got kicked off the teams in high school for fighting.
For fighting?
Fighting.
He said biting, and I was like, Nadia, seriously.
Oh, no.
Calm down.
I've done.
Did you play league or did you play union?
No, they let us play league, and then we started getting too rough, so they let us play touch, and then I got bored. So I was like, okay, it just sucks. And we had AFL as well, so that was kind of cool, but kind of the rules a bit weird. But union's pretty cool. Never played it though.
Played both. It's really, really hard because it's so like tight together, but league's more my sport. Well, back in the day when I could actually run properly, but probably another story. So I guess where did you go from high school? When did you start training in martial art?
So I just graduated from high school. So I would have been 17, and I was currently, at that time, I was dating Saman Mokhtarian, who owns Australian Top Team. And my brother was training at that gym as well. So I was only familiar with the sport for like a year. I literally was only introduced to it a year before then. So it was all new to me. And I didn't even know about the UFC until like 2013. So I didn't know it existed. I knew WWE, watched that since I was a kid, but I knew that was fake, you know? And of course, everyone knows boxing, Mike Tyson, like the mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
And anyway, my brother used to compete in a lot of grappling comps like jiu-jitsu and MMA sparring comps. So I'd go watch and like support him. And I became like intrigued, like especially in jiu-jitsu. I'd be like, oh, I'd love to do that, you know, like I like the idea of like inflicting pain on someone else, but I'm not good on the receiving end. Like I'm not a bully, but like when it comes to stuff like that, yes, I don't want to receive it. No one wants to get hit, you know.
No one wants to get punched in the face or choked out. Dia will be filthy at me because I'll talk about myself already, but
go for
I'm a 4-stripe white belt in jiu-jitsu. Please don't bow down to me. 4-stripe white belt.
Yeah, okay, step back everyone, please.
Tell me about it. Can't wait for that blue belt so I can quit.
No, get there.
Same man. Like it's fun and games. When you get the victory, but getting choked out, it's not very fun sometimes. It's very humbling, that's for sure.
It is. Your ego goes down the drain.
100%. Well, my ego is very much in the drain because many times.
John's train is huge, mate. So you can't derail his train.
No.
Oh, don't worry. I'm like pretty blokey on that way. Like I have a bad ego, like not intentionally, but I get like super emotional and like aggressive and I can't help myself. And even though I'm a pro, like I still have an issue with it. It sucks.
Oh, crazy. So where did you first start? Did you start with jiu-jitsu first or what was
so basically I was like, oh, I want to fight, you know, and I thought it was like Fight Club type thing, right? And I'm just like bare knuckle down, like underground, like who runs this shit, you know? But no, like there's rules apparently, right? So they're like, no, look, you need to learn the discipline. You need to have respect for our sport. You can't just come in here ragey, I want to fight attitude. So Saman, Ashkan were like, okay, we'll let you do jiu-jitsu to start off with. And then later when you actually have respect for the sport, we'll let you strike. I was like, oh, so I'm going to wear that like pajama thing? And I was like, they're like, yeah. I was like, damn it. So I caved and then I started doing jiu-jitsu for a solid 5 months before they let me do wrestling, and then 6 months Muay Thai, and after that got to combine it all together. And then after 3.5 months of training jiu-jitsu, I entered my first BJ comp, and then I took out gold and silver.
Wow.
And it was great. It was a great experience. And up in the final, I competed against a pro MMA fighter, and I tapped her out in the rear naked choke, and she's a 1 FC fighter now. I won't drop her name though, and don't embarrass her. No, she's cool. But she didn't believe me, like that I was in training for a few months. She's like, no, but seriously, because it's so common. Like people lie about how long they've been training for, you know, all the time.
Sandbags, mate. Sandbagging in those comps.
Yeah, no, I loved it. But yeah, it was a great experience, and you know, like I love jiu-jitsu. I became obsessed with it. I didn't realize I would like it, but I did.
Yeah, it's pretty addictive once you get into it.
Yeah, definitely.
No gold medals for Snags so far, unfortunately. Only a bronze, so you've got me on that one.
Yeah, sorry. Nad's 1, Sean 0. No.
I think we'd probably stay that way for the rest of our lives, unfortunately.
Oh, come on, go keep up.
No, that's funny. So you went from the jiu-jitsu comp. What's next after that? Like
Yeah,
how much are you
I
training?
kept competing as a white belt. I competed probably like 10, 11 times. I just loved it so much. And after about 8 months of training, I went to Thailand for a month. And I trained Muay Thai a lot there because I obviously wanted to learn more of the actual traditional art form. So I went to Phuket top team, trained there, and came back and, became like more serious about training. And I was like, oh, I actually really like this. Like I want to fight like ASAP, but of course, patient process. After just under a year and a half, I went to the AIS in Canberra, and there was a wrestling camp there with Carla Bremer, who'd entered the Olympics for wrestling. And that was a great experience. I got to meet Alex Chambers, who I ended up fighting 2 years later. So I met her there. Arlene Blankel, the Bellator fighter, and a couple of other like high-level wrestlers and stuff. So I really got to engage and better my wrestling training there. So, and then a month later, I made my MMA debut, and that's where it kicked off. Crazy.
So how was the feeling going into the first fight?
Honestly, I think I was just like a little bit cocky.
I
Because
love this shit.
I was like, I'm a little shit, honestly. I'm a little shit. I just turned 19, I think. And I was a bit cocky because I thought, like I'm untouchable attitude. But like obviously got humbled down eventually. But it was a great experience. Like that opponent is probably the only opponent. Her name is Morgan Graham, who I still talk to this day, who's the most respectable person. She's so down to earth. I don't talk to any of my other opponents. I'm down for it, but they're not. So, but she's the only one who's been like a part of the journey. So it's been amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
But I won that one with a second round armbar. But it was good. She knocked me clean. She gave me some good shots. It was a great first fight. It was good.
That's cool.
Had fun.
And that was your first amateur fight, yeah?
Sorry?
That was your first amateur fight, yeah?
My first amateur fight. I only had one amateur fight.
Wow.
And then 2 amateur Muay Thai fights.
Is that because you're impatient? Because you really wanted to just get into that professional development?
Rapper in Southwest Sydney, dear. Leave her alone.
Yeah, I know. I'm ripping my little area.
I'm from Victoria, so this is not relevant to me.
Sorry, mate. There was just no one to fight, to be honest. Like there wasn't many active amateur females that were fighting at strawweight or flyweight. So I kind of waited it out. I had 2 Mod Thai, like amateur Muay Thai fights, and then I lost actually the last Mod Thai fight. So that went to decision. That was my first ever loss, and that took a massive toll on me mentally. Like I couldn't cope with losing. Like I didn't like to lose. Obviously, like we're in a sport that's really competitive and stuff like that. Yeah. I couldn't hack it. I didn't train for like 2.5 months.
Oh, wow.
After that, after training for so long and fighting, went on like a bit of a bad path with other type of things, like smoking a lot of weed and stuff. Like I used to do it beforehand, but it became to a point where I was like relying on it just to be happy and things like that. Yeah. So that was kind of sucky. But obviously after a while, I pulled my head out of my ass, and my coach was obviously pulling me up. And he was like, like pull up literally and get the fuck back in the gym. And I was like, all right, no worries. But I was just really embarrassed at the time. But, I was still an amateur, and they're like, you're still an amateur. There's so much to learn. Like that was probably the best thing that ever happened to you, because you're going to learn so much now. And then I did make my pro debut, and I think in like 2 months later or a month and a half later, I like made a pro debut and knocked out this opponent from China. So it was great. So I kicked it off real good.
It's crazy. We're looking at obviously your record's pretty doozy, and the first couple of fights didn't go for very long.
Yeah, no, I don't like fighting for long.
Mate, I wouldn't either, to be honest. Limits the time you get punched in the face, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think I was trying to make a statement, and it's kind of funny. People are like, oh, it's not like if the UFC is a dream, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, sure. It is a dream for a lot of people that have always known MMA and been obsessed with MMA. But for me, I just wanted to it was like a personal reputation, not really for the MMA community. Like I never really won the fights to get noticed. It was just for me. Like I'm weird like that, Like I'll admit I'm a weirdo.
I wouldn't say that's weird at all. Sounds very much like me, and Daniel's probably laughing because he knows.
Yeah, because it is so true. Yeah.
It's so strange, but I mean, I don't know. And then I didn't realize the like people that were noticing me, you know, they got signed by manager just before my 4th pro fight. And he manages like Francis Ngannou, who just got on judge. He used to manage Joanna. Like he's got some decent fighters, you know. I didn't realize the level of attention I was getting.
Were you chasing any of that, or did it just occurred?
No, wow. That's what I'm saying. Like I was tripping out, to be honest. Like I was working for DHL at the time, like full time, for a pharmaceutical distribution company. And I mind you, I wasn't on the fittest at the time. I was having a cigarette and a tea, and I get an email from my manager, and a tea. English breakfast. English breakfast. I like Earl Grey.
Earl Grey. Shout out to Earl Grey.
Yeah, mate.
Coming in.
But anyway, he messages me and he's like, check your emails now. And I was like, is it urgent? He's like, yeah, I think you want to read it. I was like, okay, sweet. So I go and check it, and it's like a 4-fight deal for the UFC. I was like, my cigarette just goes. Like, okay, so we're real deal. So,
that's crazy. How was the feel when you're reading the email? I could imagine that would be obviously like just a weird feeling to get for one, but.
Oh, I was shaking because like there was talks about it just after my 4th pro fight. I won a South Pacific title, and then he's like, oh yeah, be prepared for a contract to come through. But apparently like a lot of fighters hear that, like, you know, but you don't believe it until you see it. Mate,
that would be nuts, especially after 4 fights. But
I felt like I was like, oh, I'm really inexperienced. And like, what the hell? Like, it's the fucking UFC. Like, what the hell? You know, if any
kicked into gear pretty quickly, surely.
Yeah, no. Well, I felt prepared. You know, like obviously you prepare yourself to the point where you're like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, I don't doubt my ability, and I don't doubt my training. My coaches believe in me. But it was surreal. And then they're like, oh, but your opponent, would you fight Alex Chambers? And I was like, she won't be happy about that, but yeah, I'll fight her. To make some money, I'll do it, you know. And I'm not the type of person where like I have to hate you to fight you.
Yeah.
Like it's strictly business, and then we can go have a few drinks later, you know.
Yeah, nice.
Like I'm like that personally, but I don't know many people like that. Like females are bitches. They're hard bitches to get through. I'm telling you now, like it's hard in this world. But yeah, so. She didn't talk to me after that.
I can imagine. Do you find that environment hard too in a training sense? Like is there many females training out of Australian Top Team?
No, we've just got a couple. Yep. Yeah, no, at the time, like it was always Amira Hafizovic and myself. She's in 1 championship. We've been training like from the start at the same time, and she's been my main training partner basically, but since then it's been like on and off girls that come, but we notice like fake girls don't last in our gym. Yeah. If they want to come and run through some of the boys in our gym, they're not going to last.
Yep. Yeah.
Like gym hose ain't my thing, you know what I mean? Like you can train and do what you want, but at least have respect for the other girls too. Like we know everything, like we're part of the boys too, like we hear everything. And it doesn't bother me what people do, but it's like you have to have respect for us too. So there's been that type of bullshit that's happened in the past, but it's all good now. We have one girl she's a sponsored fighter too. She won the like a sponsorship trial. Yeah. So she's been with us for the last like 6 months, and she's great. She's a great training partner. But there's not many females, which sucks. And it's hard to find females that actually have the best interest in you, like for you. A lot of girls are just in it to hurt you, like as in they want to train with you to hurt you, not to help you, type thing.
Yeah.
Like sure, like hit me hard and shit, but like don't try and snap my arm off and I'm fighting in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you sparring? Are you sparring much?
You mean like then?
Like just in general, yeah. Like when you're
like
in the gym, is sparring?
We normally spar twice a week.
Yep.
Wednesdays we do little gloves, like MMA gloves, and then Saturdays we have big gloves. But of course, sometimes they incorporate like live drilling and like shark tanks on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's pretty hardcore either way. You kind of have to bring A game always, which is hard, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we love it at Australian Top Team. They love to spar. Yep. No headgear, motherfuckers.
Worst time of your life.
Legit.
Oh, God. So I guess leading up to before the UFC, what was the favourite out of the 4 fights that you had? Anyone stand out?
I'm not. I don't really know if I had a favorite fight. I mean,
It
I
couldn't have
think
been
maybe
that favorite. They only lasted about 20 seconds. So
yeah, I think the last one was a minute and a half. I think that was my trickiest, and that's why I probably found it intriguing. But the only thing that sucked was like she didn't want me to use elbows on the floor. So
the girl you were fighting.
no, opponent, yeah.
That's
So
not
I
her
was
choice.
like, okay, then you can't use elbow because she's better at Muay Thai than Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. And then I was like, okay, then you can't use elbow standing. Like, how does that make an advantage? So that was kind of crappy and annoying because I really had some things like to showcase, but it was all good. Like, it was a tricky fight. Like, she doing some things that was throwing me off. So that was pretty interesting. That was probably like a good fight for my pro career, like before the UFC.
Yeah, cool. I guess before we get into the UFC stuff, Dale, did you want to do your little segment?
Before I would do that, I was just going to ask you quickly, before you went into the UFC, you've been very open about having a big thing for Ronda Rousey, and that obviously is something that really drove you, probably light the fire in you a little bit to get into the UFC. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah,
for sure. Like, so basically before I started training and all, Saman was really into MMA and training, right? He owned the gym. So I would like watch The Ultimate Fighter with him. I was like, yeah, sure. And it was a series where Rousey and Tate were the coaches. I think it was bantamweight and strawweights. So I started watching there, and there was like Thug Rose in a Becca Rawlings, who I'm actually friends with now, which is amazing. Like, it's crazy that I watched her then, and like, you know, now we chat and like, and everything. So it's cool. So basically, I was just watching, Rousey coach, and I found her intriguing. Like, and I would watch her fights too. So every time she would fight, I would watch, and I was like a diehard fan. Like, I've never been a fan of everyone, and even to this day, like, I don't fangirl over anybody, like no one, you know. But I will fangirl over Rousey any day.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's perfect, mate. Before we start talking about your debut into the UFC, on our normal podcast, we've got a little game we do called Start, Bench, Cut. Which a lot of people do. Are you aware of the rules of Start, Bench, Cut?
No, I've never heard of it. Tell me.
No.
On the spot.
All right. So I'm going to give you 3 things, and then you've got to start one.
Okay.
Then you got to bench one, and then you've got to cut one.
Wait, start?
So start would be like if that's the thing you want, that you love. If they're just think of a starting lineup at in basketball. So you want to start them, and then your second best, you want to bench them.
Yep.
And then you've got to cut one. So it might be hard because you might like all 3, but you've got to get rid of one, mate.
Yeah. So. That's like the other game, but you know what I'm talking about.
I think we're talking about marry, fuck, kill.
Yeah, that's the one. We're going to do that. We chose this one.
It was explicit. You could say what you want on this podcast.
I was like, oh, that's a game and a half.
We chose the clean version. So
good.
Start, bench, cut. Nadia, our first one is tattoos, clothes, beauty. So you've got to start one, you've got to bench one, and you've got to cut one.
Oh.
So tattoos, clothes, beauty. Clothes, fashion, beauty.
Lashes.
All right, cut the clothes.
Ooh, gone early.
Ooh, wild. Start the beauty and bench the tattoos.
That was an easy one.
Done.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm actually pretty girly. Hey, like, I can't even deal. Like, fuck the clothes. Like, I look good. I'm all right.
Yeah.
How are you coping with ISO life with no, like all the beauty stuff's closed at the moment, isn't it?
My lashes are falling out. I'm crying. I look like a potato suit and I'm really upset.
Probably the only time it's the easiest time in the world to be a male.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Bastards. All of you. Natural beauty and shit.
Next category. Start, bench, cut. We got league, union, AFL. Start, bench, cut.
All right, cut AFL.
Yep.
All right, start league, bench, union. Sorry.
Easy.
I firmly agree with that one.
Easy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no.
Victoria's just absolutely crying because he doesn't know what NRL is.
I didn't know two New South Wales kids.
Who do you follow anyone in the NRL?
No, I used to, but like, I'm not going to even drop the team because they'd be like typical Lebo fucking following the doggies.
Oh, shit. Like, I used to follow the dogs when I was a kid.
Oh my God, like but everyone just keeps changing. Like everyone loved him when Hazem Masri was like playing, but retired now, mate.
See you later.
But yeah,
that's funny. I'm not even going to top that.
Our last three: start, bench, cut, Nadia, Vegemite, Bunnings snags, and a meat pie with sauce.
Very Aussie.
Cut the meat pie.
Yeah, good choice.
Start Vegemite and bench snags.
Oh,
I like Vegemite a lot.
I think everyone does. Who doesn't?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
What
type of Aussie are you?
I know, terrible one. Obviously.
What do you put on your toast?
Jam.
Jam.
Oh, you're that bloke.
Oh shit! Mate, you can just cut out of the beanie me and Nadia will finish off now. Okay, you go eat jam toast.
No, joking.
Yeah, strawberry jam. Anyway, let's get back into the podcast. Nadia, so talk us through that the start, the lead up to the debut for the UFC.
All right. So basically, when I got the call up and all, I planned a trip to Thailand to do a few weeks of camp there. So I quit my job. Really thought, you know what, if I'm going to take a serious crack at this UFC thing, I need full-time commitment. So I gave them the notice. I said, I already planned the holiday to go, but I made it now strictly training. I'm like, I'm still going to come back after. So they were really understanding. They're obviously upset because I was great, right? But I was better at punching face than answering phones. So I made a commitment. Yeah, right. And so when I was there, I was training at Tiger Muay Thai. They sponsored me. So took a pretty good shot there, came back. I had, I think, 2 or 3 weeks left for the fight. So obviously it's all about like weight cutting and just fixing up like the little bad habits that you have that you're trying to cut out, throughout the camp. So it was really intense for me, and I hadn't cut down straw weight in a while too. So that kind of sucked, and I had a bit of doubt there, but I was doing well with the cut, which I thought at the start until it got to the last week or so. But it was great because the UFC Sydney was, it's my hometown, so I didn't have to travel for it or anything. So yeah, like it was a great experience, like on fight week and all. Like I still remember it because obviously your first time, like you never forget, even though it was quite a while ago. But I'll never forget, I had a photo shoot with Alex, Jess, and Beck Rawlings because we were all fighting. All the females, we had like a photo shoot for Daily Telegraph. And that was the first time I actually had a physical encounter with Alex. Like we hadn't seen each other since the AIS. I was chatted, right? But since we got signed to fight, we weren't talking. Yeah. I came to say hi and she looked at me and she was like full brushed me off, and I was like, oh, yeah. So it's on. So you don't want to fuck with me, okay? So because I'm, as I said before, I didn't think of it like that. I'm like, if I see her, I'm gonna just say hi and whatever. She didn't want to borrow it, so I was like, all right, all good. That just made it easier to hit her, basically. But yeah, anyway, it was great. Like, weight cut was obviously shit, and I was really embarrassed about that, and it had a massive toll on me post fight, and I didn't fight for ages after that. Yeah. I got a couple of shit from people online, and I couldn't really deal with that because I never really had that type of exposure before, having thousands of people watching, to commenting and DMing you, it was just really crazy, so it was a bit hard for me for a while, but I think I learned with experience, and as you mature and stuff, aging with the MMA world, you get to see it for what it is. People talk and doing good, bad, doesn't matter, and I'm not fazed by it anymore.
Most of those people talking shit online, they have done fucking nothing.
Oh, they're fucking bums, and they don't do anything. If you actually click on their profile, it'd be some even not even overweight, it'd be some skinny guy, nerdy as fuck looking, never trained a day in his life, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they just have no idea. The thing is, people that actually train don't comment. Yeah. People that fight, they don't comment, they don't talk shit, because they know what it's like to put your heart on the line, and you're giving it your all when you're in there.
Yeah, 100%. It's easy to get behind a message. It's pretty hard to get in there, I would presume. I've only ever got choked out in white belt tournaments, guys, so not about the cage.
It still counts.
Ain't
still a bit
nobody
of a crowd.
DMing me telling me I'm shit at the moment, but I'm sure they would if I was on TV.
There's always one.
It must be a huge adjustment going from something that's such a private kind of setting and then suddenly you're in that huge environment.
Yeah.
Did you receive any advice before you went in that you were going to receive things like that? Regardless
really,
if you're the best fighter in the world, you're still going to receive that sort of stuff?
Like, I kind of tried to prepare myself type thing,
Yeah.
but I didn't really have someone guiding me in a way.
Yeah.
Like, my other coach, Ash Khan, like, he fought in Auckland, UFC Auckland. I went and attended that. I saw he copped some hate. So I kind of got like an experience by watching him and seeing what happened to him.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't think anyone could really guide you through it. Like, you can't really prepare yourself mentally for either, because like, kind of like when you see someone else, someone dies, you see someone else, but like, if it's you and that you don't know how it feels until it hits you type thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it was really one of those things, but I don't think I took it very well for a solid like 6 months, you know. But
did you seek help after that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I started like I used to take anxiety medication in high school, and then I stopped because I had a lot of like I had a bit of issues in it where like I ended up being hospitalized anyway, and it didn't help.
Yeah.
But I started taking antidepressants after my UFC debut, and I'm still taking them, and they've helped me personally. But it's been a ride, you know. Like, I think it's worth it. Like, I'm kind of thankful that I've been through all that, because it's like I feel like I hit a point where I'm like, I can't go any lower. Like, I felt like that, you know, to the point where I wasn't leaving my room for days and not speaking to anybody and just having this poor attitude with life, with people, with my own family. I just felt like I was blaming everyone else as well, and it just really was like it was sucking my life out, you know. It was shit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
What was the catalyst to kind of come out of that then? Because obviously, like, a lot of people go through that as well. Yours is on a global scale, so it's a lot bigger than the everyday person. But what was your kind of catalyst to kind of come out of it?
I mean, I don't know. I think I kind of got over like wallowing in my pity, you know. You kind of get over it. You're like, I can't sit here anymore and just be depressed for nothing. Like, nothing else is going to come out of it. And it was a kind of crappy time too. Like, Simone and I had ended our relationship as well, so a lot of shit had happened. And I was like, you know what? Like, I just got to pick myself up. You know, I'm really at the bottom right now. I feel like there's no lower. Like, I have to move on. I have to just keep doing life. You know. So that's just what I did. It took me a long time, but I got there, and you know, I didn't train for a very long time. Like, I didn't train for a solid like 7-8 months.
Yeah, crazy.
So I feel like I had to like pick up and start all over again when it comes to training. Like, your conditioning is gone. Your detraining is like, you're on zero. You know what I mean? So it took a while for everything to happen again, but it was good. Like, it kind of forced me to learn everything like real quick. Like, it would grow in a short time after that. It was good.
What was like the feeling? Sorry, Dale, you go. I'm always cutting in.
Was there any pressure from the UFC for you to fight in 2018?
I had injuries as well.
Yeah.
I was meant to fight in Singapore, and I was meant to fight. Oh no, sorry. After 2018, I was meant to fight in Singapore, but I fell in the dumbest way. Like, you wouldn't even believe. Like, I was playing with my friend's son, and I was showing him how to do a wheelie with like a bike, and I was like trying to flex on a 3-year-old, right? And I'm like, yeah, auntie will show you how to do this.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, watch me fall, hit my back flat on tiles, and I did, and like I got disc bulges from it, and to this day it still like lurks up randomly, like it will just pop up.
But videoed it, did they?
No, should have been.
Thank God.
Would have been amazing.
You get that as a Facebook memory pop up every year.
Oh God, that'll be bless my soul. Things I do. All my injuries, though, like majority of them have been outside of training, because I'm just a wild one. Let's be real.
What's the worst injury that you can tell, that you were open to tell?
Definitely my hand injury. I don't know if you guys would see it, but it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So I had a car accident. Just not from a car accident, but in the car accident, I was driving. A car hit me from oncoming traffic because they were turning right and they just cut me off. And mind you, I'm speeding, going 160 zone, and they just hit me. And my car went spinning. I couldn't even see where the car was going. I went into oncoming traffic and hit 2 other cars.
Oh, shit.
And my car obviously is a write-off, so it turned off. I couldn't even chase the guy. All I remember was a ute. And I'm like, I got out of the car and I'm just pacing up and down because I'm so angry. And then I just started attacking my side mirror. I was hitting my side mirror until I wanted it to break. The glass broke, but not the actual mirror, and that made me even angrier. But by that point, I'm looking at my hand because the adrenaline was super, super high. Yeah. I didn't feel anything. I just felt like this weird stinging out of nowhere. I looked at my hand. My hand is spraying blood, spraying, and I could see my bone. My bone was literally in my face. It wasn't protruding out, but it was there. I was like, ooh, that looks pretty disgusting. Yeah. But I was shaking because I was so adrenaline filled and cold, and the blood was leaking, and then the ambulance came and the cops were asking me questions, and I'm like, is that from the accident? I was like, no, don't rub my hand. I'm just raging. And they're like, okay, no worries.
Don't talk to my mirror and tell you bad things.
I know. I'm like, yes, that's part of the accident. Nah, jokes. So, look, I just obviously, raging moment, you know what I mean? You feel like you're in despair. You're like, fuck, what am I going to do now? Yeah. So I was pretty pissed off. Should have had insurance. That's probably why I was more angry.
Oh, no.
Yeah, shit go. But yeah, happens when you're crazy and stupid. So, yeah.
And then 2019 rolls around. You're on 2 pay-per-view cards in the prelims, the pay-per-view cards. That was huge.
It was.
2 big cards. How'd you feel about going into those?
It was insane, especially 2, 3, 4. I was supposed to be a prelim, and then I got bumped to the main card. Nice. People were like, who the fuck's this bitch fighting on the main card?
Actually we went to 2, 4, 2, 4, 3 we were at, not 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Go on, my words mixed up. Continue with the story.
No, you're right. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I got to be on UFC Embedded, which was surreal. It was pretty awesome. And I think I dropped the C word as well on that. I was calling I was eating lunch or something. I had a fresh tuna salad or something, and then Saman was having a burger and chips in front of me, and I'm like, you're a fat cunt. Are you fucking serious? In front of me on fight week. Get the fuck out of here. I was so dirty. I love food. I love junk food. I love lollies and shit like that. So I don't talk about it, I get upset.
Oh, okay. I was just about to say, what's the go-to? I'll retract my question.
Sorry about that. But yes, that was also an experience, obviously the shit side of it was my first ever MMA loss, which was insane and the craziest feeling. But I wasn't demotivated, which is weird for me. I actually was more motivated. So I was like, okay, well, MMA game, she was an insane wrestler and grappler, so I'm lacking there, I never had that wake-up call with grappling before or anything like that. So it was good, and I straight away, even though I tore the MCL of my arm from getting armbarred, I did all lower body training. I did what I could. I picked up the training a lot. So I kept pretty active last year. And it was great. Probably one of the most active years, I think, of my whole career. And yeah, in 2, 4, 3 was great too. Even though I got my ass beat, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was great.
How was the atmosphere walking out on that one? Because that was absolutely ringing in there when we were there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was an early prelim. So I think the attendance at that time was only 20-something thousand.
Still a fair few people when you think about it.
It's still a wee bit, you know what I mean? Still a bit. But it was still amazing. It was great. And it was stadium's massive. From where you are, you have to go on this cute little cart and it take you all the way to where you have to walk in. It's the stadium's massive, But it was great. It was a great experience. Probably my favorite fight in the UFC. Just because I got to show a bit of character. I got to and also I got to do my first takedown, which was great. I never taken anyone down before in MMA, and I was like, oh, I pulled it off. And it was amazing. But it's kind of, I was doing heaps of wrestling with our old Persian coach as well, one-on-ones, and that really showed. He was so stoked. He goes, fuck the loss, you pulled off a takedown like a boss. I was like, yeah, man. So it was awesome. Cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I guess the big question is, where did 187 come from? Where did the nickname come from?
Oh yeah. So 187, like obviously you guys listen to like rap music, you know, they drop that a lot. So it's like the murder, it's like a police code for homicide or a murder, right? But that nickname stuck to me from when I was like 13, 14. So
really?
Yeah,
before
so I've had it
before the fighting.
Before fighting.
Gangster.
Well, I used to fight outside, you know. That was where it came from. I used to hang around a lot of like an older crowd. Like I would have been 13 or 14. My mates were like 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, cool.
So it kind of forces you to grow up early and stuff like that. But yeah, something drama would go down, like I'd be there. 187 is there, you know. So it kind of became a thing, you know, like, oh, can't call Nads down, you know. So I would be there all the time, and I was always ready to stand and bang. Like I was just an angry young teenager, like it was in me. And you know, it became a thing. Like, oh, they decided to call me 187, and then throughout different friendship groups, it would stick. So it was only like natural when I started fighting. They're like, oh, you're gonna name your 187, right? I was like, yeah, obviously. Like there was no ifs or buts about it. Like it had to happen. So it was cool that it stuck to me. And after my first win in MMA, like as an amateur, I got it tattooed like 187 on my finger. So it's cute. I love it.
Nice. Hey, dope name to get stuck with, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of violent, but that's my style.
Sick.
Yeah.
What's the future look like for you? I know it's hard at the moment because there's obviously no fights, nothing going on.
Fight Island, baby. We're going to Fight Island. I can feel it.
Fight Island.
Fucking no. Take me there. Fly me on your private jet with a champagne or a water if I have to.
Yeah, water.
Get the champs on the way back, mate.
Yeah, on the way back.
Is that still the plan this year to get back in the ring? You're obviously staying fight ready?
Yeah. Well, I can't like reveal too much at the moment, but I've meant to actually be fighting.
Yep.
I'm meant to be fighting in like 2 months' time. So, and I signed my contract like a while ago. So I haven't really got an answer for it, which sucks. Like my opponent was meant to be from the US. Yep. And it's obviously not going to happen because we can't enter, they can't come here or whatever. Yeah. So even if I do get to this Fight Island, it'll be a different opponent. But either way, like I've been staying ready. I've been training with my coach still, just him and I. And I've been doing like my strength training a few days a week, conditioning. I run or skip every single day. Like I'm staying fit. I'm meal prepping. Like I'm just trying to stay at a weight where if I need to cut within a month or 6 weeks, like I won't die, you know. And my dietitian's helping me out with that. My manager's updating me. My strength coach is hitting me up. So I've got the support around me. The only shit thing is the uncertainty because you want to know, you want to have a date in mind, you know.
Yeah, how's it been since all this stuff has gone down? Just like feeling kind of lost, or what is it? Yeah, it's kind of like hard to stay motivated in a way. Yeah. But it's good that I have people on my back to ask me what I'm doing and like how I'm going, like what level I'm at with the training and stuff. Otherwise, I can slack off. Like I need that sometimes. Like I need a push. Yeah. But of course, like another push is like the fact that I'm sure everyone else is isolated, but like they might be doing the same training that I'm doing, or like, you know, they might be, you know, they're trained to kill you, you know, so you kind of got to train, you know, and I like it anyway, like staying fit and, you know, just being ready for whatever. So like I want to hope and get paid. So I'm like, stay ready, Nadia, like don't fuck around.
It's not like you're in a permanent fight camp.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like right now.
Yeah.
It's been like that for the last like 6 weeks. I'm just like, I've been prepping for that long right now. Yeah. And I'm just like, so how long is this going to go for, you know?
Yeah, what was your first thoughts when you heard about this bloody crazy Fight Island?
I'm like, Dana, what are you smoking? Send it over here.
Mate, the dude just does what he wants, basically.
I love it. He's fucking amazing. Like you know how you see him on TV? It's how he is in real life too.
Yeah.
Like he's got that enthusiasm and like he loves this shit. That's why he's like so crazy about it and he's going to this level. Well, I just hope it pulls through because I just want it to be like, yeah, like he wasn't lying. Like I actually believe him, you know.
He'd be fucking insane if he pulls it off, that's for sure.
Well, he's pretty passionate getting the whole schedule off for the year when you're nearly 2 months down in fights. So
yeah, no, it's fucking hard. But I guess everyone else is going through it too. So I don't feel sorry for myself or anything, but I'm just kind of, because obviously we're isolating. It's just like you can't really like talk about it properly with your other teammates or whoever's fighting or whatever. But there's no one else that I know that's fighting except for me. So it kind of feels like it's just me, but it's not really, so it's okay.
Nice. I think that'll wrap us up, Nadia. We really do appreciate you coming on, taking the time. We know it's late at night as well, so we do appreciate you staying up.
No, good. I had heaps of fun. Honestly, you guys are awesome.
Mate, where can the guys find you?
So my Instagram is Nadia187 Kassem, and that's the only platform I use.
Nice.
Oh, lucky we didn't put Instagram, Facebook, Twitter on Start Bench Cut deal.
Yeah, I know, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, no, I did on my Facebook.
Cut.
Fuck that. There's too many people in there.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg.
Well, mate, thanks for jumping on the Run It Back podcast.
We
Anytime,
hope
thanks.
we get to see you on Fight Island.
Yeah,
oh my God, me too.
It's crossed. But we'll be back in you once you get back in the cage. So good luck.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.